Hello, everyone. This is news from coming out of from Abia State, and in terms of their budget, and the news isn't looking good at all. There's this organization called Tracker. It's under budget that normally looks at the budget of the government and breaks it down into pieces. Tracker, just reading from their Twitter profile, Tracker enables citizens to collaborate, track, and give feedback on public projects in their community. Tracker is a project by Budget. And so this is what they have here, and it's a tweet to Alex Oti and the Abia State government. It says, "Dear Governor Alex Oti, the average citizen can barely afford a decent meal. But in the 2024 Abia State budget, you plan to spend 1.5 billion naira on two Toyota Hilux. 1.5 billion, that is, each of them will be over 700 million naira. What kind of Toyota this thing is that? Is it made in gold or what is it? You know, then it says 10 billion to establish a film village. So I can understand, okay, you want to have a film. The other ones that other people have established, how far have they gone? What have they made in terms of IGR for the government, internally generated revenue for the government? What really is the essence of this particular film village that they want to spend about 10 billion naira on? Is this the best use of this 10 billion naira, or are there other ways that it can best be used? Then you have 1.5 billion to buy cars for commissioners, judiciary, and permanent secretary. I thought cars had been bought before. Is it every year that cars have to be bought for these people, or what is it? People are going through so much, and there's so much being put on something that it's not going to bring income to the people. How has this been put in a way that it helps with public transport? Is this going to help with public transport, or is it some individuals are going to have some fancy, beautiful cars for themselves? Is it going to help towards public transport? Is it going to help towards education? Is it going to help towards health, so that the average man is benefiting rather than those who are working either with government, in government, close to government, or any of those things? 2.8 billion to buy bus for government house and MDAs. These are so much money is being wasted on vehicle. These are so much money being wasted on things that are not going to bring in income to the state. They are not going to contribute to the internally generated revenue. They are not going to create jobs. So why are they being done? One of the things for me, I've always said, is the fact that government should work with organizations like Tracker, like Budget, who are going to help you check every part of your budget and bring it up. In working, I do understand, as a leader, you might not see everything. There are people, you're not expert in everything. There are people who are going to be in a position for them to be the ones to check through all of these things. And there are certain things that you might miss. And that's why most times people try to pad budget, slot in all sorts of things, inside budget or whatever it is that you've done. And so having this organizations, having a memorandum of understanding with them and working with them for them to help you track and ensure that there is an absolute best judicious use of money. If Abia State was our personal business, it was a business that we're running, in all honesty, would we spend this amount of money on these things that we're spending on? Aren't there other better things that this money, can be spent on? They say, how about Mr. Governor? How will this help the common people of Abia State? Citizens and residents of Abia State, it is time to ask questions. Eternal vigilance is the price you pay for democracy. You cannot vote someone in and then not hold the person accountable, not check what they're doing. Not because you don't like them or you don't trust them or whatever, but because that's your job, that's your duty as a citizen. Why the people who are voted into office, supply, what do you call it now, good governors, you that vote them into office are supposed to demand for that good governance. So you're supposed to be checking. And that's why I think it was Thomas Jefferson, former United States president, that said that the eternal vigilance is the price you pay for democracy. You have to constantly be vigilant. You have to constantly be checking, what's going on. And that's why citizens are called upon to occupy their office of the citizen and ensure that the right thing is being done. There are so many people out there that will just try to put in all sorts of things. Reading directly, it says 10 top 20. Here we have top 20 most expensive capital project in Abia State. When you're looking at any capital project, I think the biggest incentive should be how much value does it give to the state? How much value does it give to the common people? How much value do people get, from it? What value are they going to get from it? That's what is paramount. That's what is key. It's not just to have a budget and they throw it, brandishing figure. Somebody gets a contract and then it goes on like that. No, it shouldn't be. And so if you're looking at it, this so X amount of money, this billion that is going to be spent, is it better spent here or is it better spent, somewhere else? Is it better spent, or what will you do for it to generate more money? Is it going to be an investment that is going to appreciate over time, or is it going to be an investment that is going to be bringing passive income? Is it going to be an investment that is going to help the people, have an enabling environment for them to thrive? For me personally, and I might be very wrong, I'm not very familiar with Abia State and all of that. I don't know how well they are with the film industry and how having a 10 billion, I think it was 10 billion that was marked for the film entertainment establishment of, 10 billion establishment of film industry, to say, how does it add to the IGR of Abia State? How does it enable the people of Abia State to have a conducive environment for them to run their businesses? I know Abia is in Abia State, if I'm not mistaken. And Abia, like I always say, can be the China of Nigeria. Instead of all of these things, for now, instead of the film village and all of that, that's why I said I don't know. I'm not knowledgeable here. I'm just putting thoughts out. Please kindly correct me. What has been done to ensure that people who are doing all of those different manufacturing in Aba, they have access to electricity, infrastructure, machines? There are certain machines that maybe different companies need, but they're too big for one to buy. The government could put something like that down and then be charging the people and say pay back in certain this thing, that so that it enhances their work, it makes their work faster, and they do more. What are all of this? I'm not saying a film village is not it's not a good thing or whatever, but I'm saying, is that the most judicious use of that money? Is that the most investment wise in that money? I'm thinking like a businesswoman. That's because that's what you do when you have a business. When you're putting your money to something, you always ask yourself, is this the best use? Is this going to give me the best return for my people? So what we have here, we have I'm going to look at, so we have here about 14 of those projects. It says here, construction of Ogwe Umuaka Road, 3.2 kilometer in phases, 960 million budgeted for that. Purchases of buses for government house MDAs, 1 billion budget for that. The question again you ask, don't the government house already have buses? Don't these MDAs already have buses? Why do you have to constantly keep buying buses, for these people? Of what value are these buses in terms of the generality of the people, not just the comfort of the people that are working there? You have purchase of 2 number of Toyota Hilux at 1.5 billion. Ban. What kind of Hilux are they buying? Even if you say treated, is it bulletproof Hilux? Is it this expensive? Or are there cheaper alternative that are there, to be used? Purchase of vehicle for commissioners, judiciary, and permanent secretary, 1 billion 545 million naira. You have conduct of local government elections, 1 billion 779 million 625,000. Okay, conducting election are quite expensive. Purchase of motor vehicles for government and government house MDAs, you have 1.8 billion. Is Abia State going do Abia State? Do you people want to start selling vehicles? I don't understand how this purchase of this vehicle and all of that. Construction so provision of Abia State Public Service Academy is taking about 1.9 billion, almost 2 billion. Government-wide digital transformation project, about 4.6 billion. Establishment of a film village, we've talked about that before, 10 billion. Special agro-industrial processing zone. These zones, are they really 24 billion? Are they really going to give what it is supposed to give? A lot of other places have done these zones also. How effective are they going to be? Those are some of the questions that need to be asked, not just to put some. There are some things they look good on paper, but in reality not as much. Then there's construction of Nunya Isukwato Road. You have 1.5 billion. And you have construction of Onyuyag Okporeyi Oboru Ikwano Road. God, please, you guys should forgive me. 1 billion. Naira construction of Owerita Umia Kado, they didn't put through. I'm assuming it's road, is 5 billion. And then you have provision of a connected learning network, 100 by 3 schools. I don't know what 100 by 3 schools mean. It's about 20 billion. Whether it's 100 schools in 3 senatorial, I don't know what that means. But hey, this budget, some of this budget needs to be checked again, and work with people who are going to be your other eye, and watch these people, what do they do. I remember there was a particular state, the governor is no longer, he has left now, actually a minister now in this illegitimate administration. And so Tracker had shown a school where that was very run down. And because the friend and myself are friends, so I reached out to her like, hey madam, see what Tracker is saying about your school in your state. Get your husband and his people to look at. She was like, oh no, they've done this thing. She was a bit upset. You know, these people, they always try to put out the neck. I said to her message, I said, calm down. I said, these people are not your enemies. They're actually your friends. You see those people who are working for you in government, your commissioners, your special assistant, they will tell you what you want to hear, not what you need to hear. You might be sitting down there, you've budgeted money and everything, but it has not gotten there. And lo and behold, when they actually check, it wasn't there. But on paper, they had told the governor that everything was done. And then they now went on and they did it. And when they did, they put it out there. Who took the glory? They took the glory, not someone else. So please, let's work with those who will be high. Always that we check, help us check and find every fault in what we do, so that when we correct them, we become better. I hope Abia State government is going to do something about this. Alex Oti, over to you.